Hey, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mike.
And we're the Nfgeeks.
That's right. And we're going to talk about our favorite thing in the whole world. And what could that be, David?
Love?
Besides love.
The Myers-Briggs.
Of course, because
Yes.
we haven't talked about it enough. Only hours and hours and hours and hours.
Well, we got a pretty good amount of videos.
That's right.
So
for this video's topic, we want to talk about how different famous people and historical figures and mythological fictional characters represent the various Myers-Briggs types, and comment on some mistakes that are made and why they are made. The one thing I want to say, Dave, is I prefer to use mythological characters or fictional characters, be them from myth, from scripture, from literature, from TV, movies, cartoons. I think those are better representations to nail down as what their Myers-Briggs types are.
yeah.
And that's because I see the Myers-Briggs types not only in terms of the collective unconscious and the Jungian stuff, but in terms of Platonic idealized forms, meaning that the 16 types are universals of human consciousness. They're an idealized form of human consciousness, ENFP or INFJ, and we are the particulars of that form. So there's an idealized form of the INFJ, a universal form. You are the particular of that form.
And what a particular I am.
Yeah, indeed. And so because of that, my theory is that mythological symbols or fictional characters, wherever they're from pop culture, through to mythology, make better representations of the types because they are more exaggerated in trying to be closer to the universal than actual people. I also think we all project too much and want whoever we like to be one of our own, to be one of our own kind. Everybody wants their favorite hero or whatever to be one of their own.
Or
anti-hero to be one of their own. So what are some experiences you've had with this, Dave?
People trying to project what their type onto another person.
Sure. Can you be specific?
Mythologically or real?
Either. It doesn't matter. There's no difference. That's a very NF thing to say. The NTs are like,
We'll start off mythologically. I've encountered people trying to say that Jesus was an INFJ.
Oh.
And as much as I would love to say that, Jesus, as cool as he was coming from my mindset, I'd have to disagree. I think he was an ENFJ.
Yes, and I agree, Dave. I think that if we break down Jesus into two things, the universal, which is Jesus Christ as the religious mythological icon of scripture and religion, is an idealized version of the ENFJ. I would say that. And I would say the real Jesus, the real human being that this is all somehow based on, whoever that was, let's assume he existed, okay, for the sake of argument. He might not have. Don't kid yourself. But let's assume that he did exist. The real human being was also probably an ENFJ, but a real human being, flawed, as opposed to the iconography that exists around Jesus Christ, whatever that is, as an idea. Right. I would say that you're right, that he is an ENFJ, symbolically at least the symbol that Jesus is an ENFJ, because of one, always being around crowds of people and teaching to crowds of people, okay, and also motivating people to change the way they interact with each other.
Yeah.
INFJs are more symbolic of the way to be, as opposed to teaching people the way to be. You act in a certain way, and in a solitude sort of way, INFJs, and we sort of look to the INFJ to act as you, but you're not teaching us directly through communicating in large groups like an ENFJ would. So for example, if we were to think mythologically and scripturally, the Virgin Mary is a universal, and again, the real Mary, who knows what she was? I have no idea. That's not knowable. But the Mary as a symbol, the symbolic Mary of religion, is symbolizing an idealized INFJ person.
Yeah.
She's even got your eyes, the sad eyes. Yeah. Well, it's true. Every statue of Mary. You know, that's her. The same thing with, I think I would say that the Apostle John is probably also a symbolic representation of INFJ as well. But Jesus, to be Jesus, has to be an ENFJ. And I also think all the great religious teachers that spiritually change people in the way humans interact and see human interaction are also ENFJs, symbolically idealized, and then the real person behind them is also probably an ENFJ. So like Buddha, the idealized icon that is the myth of Buddha that's in Buddhist scriptures is also an ENFJ. And the real person, Siddhartha Gautama, whoever that was, flawed human being that he was probably also an ENFJ. So what we get is the symbolic representation of an actual person that's more idealized, but still representing the type. So I would say they're all teachers, like even the Prophet Muhammad was probably an ENFJ as well. So I don't think Jesus could have been an INFJ, simply the fact that there's just too many people hanging around him all the time. That would make you crazy.
Yeah.
You burn out, you know.
I read it if I did that every day.
That's right. Now, also, you were telling me not too long ago that some INFJs, this one's more bizarre. I could see why religiously and mystical, because INFJs are so mystical, why you might think Jesus was an INFJ. I'm sure lots of people hang out with who are INFJs. But you were also telling me that Hitler, some INFJs thought that Hitler was an INFJ.
I don't know why you would try it. I don't see the appeal in trying. You know?
Yeah, why would you want to pick? Yeah, okay.
I mean,
what was their argument? That's
that he would. Now, personally, I don't even think. I think he was a ENFJ as well.
Yes, I agree.
But their argument was that he would, granted, he would make these speeches to a bunch of people, but he would go into a retreat near the German countryside.
Yeah, he would go to Wolf's Lair, but he was never alone.
Right.
He always had an entourage.
Yeah.
That's ENFJs, or even ENFPs a little, to be honest too. But ENFJs, that's more an ENFJ thing. And I agree, Hitler was an ENFJ. So let's just be clear what we're saying here. We're saying that both Hitler and Jesus were both, first of all, NFs, okay, and we're both ENFJs, and that really says that a personality type could be good or evil. There's evil versions of us all out there.
But that's the only comparison we're making.
But I do think Hitler was an ENFJ because his ability to talk in front of hundreds of thousands of people, but also able to motivate people politically and emotionally to do things. But he's also an NF. I don't think he has that NT in him because he was not a good military strategist at all. He invaded the Soviet Union. Bad idea. He totally screwed up on D-Day and where D-Day was going to take place and all that, and that has to do with his megalomania, and that's very ENFJ, evil ENFJ, and we know an ENFJ, so we know about this. So, Hitler was definitely more of an ENFJ than an INFJ, I think.
And what about this supports him being an NF is they would it was on TV not too long ago where they took the video recordings. They took
yeah,
and they tried
the Wolf's Lair stuff. Yes.
Yeah, and he talks in it, but there's no audio, so they try to use like these computer programs to follow his lips and then put audio to see what he's saying.
Yes, I know this.
And
it's all about, this is so NF. It's all about Ava.
Yeah.
It's all about her. He's not talking about the final solution. He's not talking about conquering Russia. He's not talking about the Reich. It's all about Ava.
He's talking about
it's really maudlin. Yeah.
He's too old for Ava. Like
Hitler was an NF. He thought about love every day too.
Oh no.
Oh God! What a horrible thought. Hitler was one of us.
Well, he thought about it. He didn't think about it enough, apparently.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, tell me, Div, let's have some fun with this. What are some where do you see yourself either represented in pop culture or in myth or in mythological characters or fictional characters? Because I think that's a little more fun and actually a little more easier to nail than trying to say, John F. Kennedy was an INFJ or something ridiculous.
Which he probably wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Probably an SP, honestly, if I had to really think about it. But
we'll save that for another video.
Yeah.
But for an INFJ,
Yeah.
I would have to say fictionally, Hey Arnold, or Arnold from Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
The show on Nickelodeon way back when.
Yeah, absolutely. You even have his hair. To a certain degree.
Well, it's it's puffed out.
Yeah. You're not wearing a hat, but if you did. And that actually works because, according to the socionics, and I want to do a whole video about the socionics take on all this at one point, especially in terms of relationships. According to socionics, your ideal match romantically is an ESTJ.
Right.
And boy, that's Helga. Helga is an ESTJ. And it's very ESTJ. In your presence, it's all reaction formation and a bully. But at home, there's the shrine. So what you need is to find someone who bullies you all the time, but has this shrine back, a Dave shrine, reading your poems.
I'll think
Helga.
about it. No. But also, I guess mystically, it would be the poet Rumi.
Oh yeah. I think that Rumi. Rumi is an INFJ. Yeah. He couldn't be anything but an INFJ. Jeez, he's mystical. He's writing about God. He's writing about God and your relationship to God being about like lovers. Yeah. Only an INFJ would think about that, and then write it. Absolutely. Oh yeah. The poetry. Yeah, I would agree.
So those would be my two examples for my own type. What about your type?
I've thought about this for a while, and you want to know who I think is actually an idealized mythological version of an ENFP?
Who?
Santa Claus. Yes. Santa Claus is an ENFP, and all the ENFPs are actually thrilled. That's why I know. They're like, yeah, Santa.
They're like, yeah.
Yeah, because look, we'd love it. We'd love to be Santa. We would love to give everybody and come down and ho, 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 and all that. And, and he's always dressed great in the costume. He's loud. Santa's loud. But also, he knows who's naughty and who's not. That's very ENFP. We know who's naughty and who's nice. And you know what? Naughty people, you get a present anyway. And that's what ENFPs would do. I would give you a present anyway, even though you're a naughty jerk. So Santa is one of us. Santa's an ENFP.
He's got that twinkle in it.
He's got the twinkle, yes. And all ENFPs have that twinkle. As opposed to the ENFJ glow. And that's how you know Hitler is an ENFJ. He's got that glow. And if you know an ENFJ, they have that glow.
Yeah, that look in their eye.
Yes, but it's a glow. It's not a twinkle. We have the ENFPs have the twinkle. I think for some of the other types, I've mentioned this in another video, but I think for INTJ, Spock from Star Trek is an INTJ. He always solves the problem. He always knows the answer. He's not asking any questions. He's getting the answer ahead of everybody. And he's always rolling his eyes at everybody. That's very INTJ. As opposed to the INTP, pretty much any robot, any androgynous robot is pretty much an INTP.
Dana from Star Trek.
Yeah, or C-3PO, they're all INTPs. I would also say, though, if we were to go back to historical people, any builder of any great technology is probably an NT, and certainly an INTJ. Like Tesla. Tesla, I think, was an INTJ. And Tesla tried to build a death ray. Did you know that? Yeah, the INTJ. Only an INTJ would even conceive of why we would need a death ray.
Yeah.
Robert J. Oppenheimer, the builder of the atomic bomb, the designer, the lead scientist, he had to be an INTJ. What are some other, characters? Let's have some fun with this. Well, let's talk about
SPs.
SPs? Okay, you want to know who's an ESTP? Cartman from South Park.
Yeah.
That's an ESTP. Yes, absolutely.
And I think Kenny would be an SP as well.
Yeah, an ISFP. And Kyle is an INFJ. I think Kyle. Yeah, because he has a moral center. And
a deep moral center.
Yeah, that's right. Stan, I would say, is an ESTJ. That's what I think. I think Stan's an ESTJ. And I think Butters is an INFP.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Butters.
Poor Butters. Because only an INFP would think they're destroying the world by leaving a hose on. Seriously. It's true. Their vengeance against us all.
With a tinfoil hat.
With a tinfoil hat. And boy, INFPs could use those. And on that very funny note,
Yes,
Dave.
I'm Dave. This is Mike.
That's right.
We're the Nfgeeks.
And let us know who you think mythologically represents the Myers-Briggs type.
Yes, give us your ideas, your suggestions.
And we'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Well, take it easy.
Yeah.